You've probably heard that the AI revolution is coming. That suggests you have time to get ready. But that's not the full story. The AI revolution isn't on the horizon. You're already living through it. Right now, we are all witnesses to the largest and quietest realignment of wealth and power in modern history. This isn't a forecast, it's a diagnosis of what's happening today. This is the story of a multi-trillion-dollar catalyst, a force that is systemically rerouting the world's capital. It's creating a new class of economic royalty while making entire industries, career paths, and old investment strategies obsolete. The strangest part? Most people don't even see it. They feel the effects, the ground shifting under their feet, but they can't name the cause. Today, we pull back the curtain. We're going to follow the money, trace the lines of power, and reveal the engine driving this tectonic shift. If you think this doesn't affect your job or your finances, you need to think again. What you learn today could determine which side of this great economic divide you fall on. The story of this revolution isn't written in lines of code. It's written in capital spending. It's measured in concrete, steel, and megawatts of electricity. To understand the sheer scale of what's happening, you have to follow the money. And the numbers are almost hard to believe. In 2025 alone, global spending on AI is forecast to hit nearly $1.5 trillion, according to research firm Gartner. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire economy of countries like Spain or Australia, all pointed at a single technological goal in a single year. And this isn't a one-time spike. This fire hose of capital is just getting started. This isn't just some vague line item on a corporate budget. This is a cold, hard, physical build out. The world's largest technology companies, the hyperscalers like Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft, have become the central banks of this new economy. In 2025, they are projected to spend a combined total of over $300 billion on AI related infrastructure. That's more than the entire gross domestic product of a country like Colombia, spent by just four companies in 1 year. Let's break that down. Microsoft has a projected commitment of $80 billion for a global data center build out. Not to be outdone, Google is plowing a projected $75 billion into its own data center capacity this year. These aren't just buildings, they are temples of computation, sprawling campuses filled with hundreds of thousands of the specialized processors that are the heart of this revolution. These investments are so massive, they're starting to warp our entire economy. For decades, the engine of the American economy was the US consumer. Their spending habits drove market trends and GDP reports. In 2025, for the first time, that engine was seriously challenged. According to analysis from Renaissance Macro Research, the contribution to GDP growth from AI data center construction has actually rivaled and by some measures surpassed that of US consumer spending. Think about that. The construction of AI's physical backbone is at this moment a more powerful force for economic growth than the combined spending habits of 330 million Americans. According to Harvard economist Jason Furman, this trend is even more stark than it appears. His analysis of the first half of 2025 found that a staggering 92% of US GDP growth could be attributed directly to investment in information processing equipment and software, the guts of the AI buildout. Now, Furman adds the important nuance that without this boom, other parts of the economy would have likely grown faster, making up for maybe half that growth. But even so, the takeaway is clear. The growth of the world's largest economy is becoming incredibly dependent on this AI buildout. This isn't a niche tech bubble, this is the main event. But this flood of capital has a downside. It's a reallocation, which means that for every winner, there's a loser. As money pours into AI infrastructure, it's being diverted from other places. And as AI's capabilities grow, it's starting to automate tasks once thought safe from technology. This isn't just about factory jobs anymore. The most exposed occupations are not the lowest paid. They are roles around the 80th percentile of earnings: lawyers, accountants, designers, and analysts. These are careers where it's estimated that a huge portion of the work is susceptible to being automated or dramatically reshaped by AI. The quiet hollowing out of the cognitive workforce has already begun. This colossal movement of money is carving a deep chasm through the global economy. On one side are the architects and beneficiaries of the AI revolution. On the other is everyone else. This is the great divide, and it isn't happening by accident. It's the direct result of where and how this multi-trillion-dollar catalyst is being spent. The architects are a small, concentrated group. We've already seen how just four American tech companies are responsible for a massive chunk of global AI investment. This concentration of corporate and geographic power is historic. According to the Stanford AI Index, private investment in AI in the United States in 2024 reached over $109 billion. dollars. To grasp the dominance this represents, that's more than 10 times China's investment and over 20 times that of the United Kingdom. When it comes to generative AI specifically, the frontier of this technology, the US lead is even bigger. This financial dominance translates directly into a physical one: computational power. The United States controls an estimated commanding majority of the world's high-end AI computing capacity. This gives American companies a structural, almost insurmountable advantage in training the next generation of powerful AI models. They have the money and the hardware to brute force their way to the top. So, how does this create the divide? It operates on a simple, brutal principle. This revolution, unlike the dawn of the internet, which created a more decentralized ecosystem, is starting out highly centralized. The wealth isn't flowing to the users of AI, at least not yet. It's flowing to the companies that own the infrastructure. This is the classic picks and shovels play from the gold rush era, but magnified 1,000 times over. The people who got rich weren't the prospectors, they were the folks who sold the tools. In the AI revolution, the hyperscalers and chip makers are selling the computational shovels to the entire world. The CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, has put a number on the size of this market. He projects that by the end of this decade, the world will have spent $3 trillion to $4 trillion on AI infrastructure. This isn't just a few billion here or there. This is about rewriting the entire technological foundation of our society. It includes the servers, the software, the power grids, and the very buildings that house the intelligence. The venture capital world, a leading indicator of future trends, has already placed its bet. A massive slice of new billion-dollar unicorn companies are AI focused, and they're accounting for a huge portion of the big paydays for investors. Capital isn't just moving towards AI, it's stampeding. This is a historic reallocation away from other sectors, which risk being starved of investment and talent as a result. This creates the divide. On one side, you have a handful of infrastructure providers and the AI native companies built on top of them, absorbing a disproportionate amount of global capital. They're seeing explosive growth and attracting the best talent. On the other side, you have legacy industries and the vast majority of the workforce. They are becoming customers of this new infrastructure, forced to pay a tax to the AI landlords for access to the future of productivity. Their business models are being disrupted and their economic power is eroding. This is the mechanism of the silent reallocation, a concentrating force pulling wealth and power into a new, smaller, and more fortified center. This trillion-dollar shift isn't an abstract concept on a balance sheet. It has a physical, tangible form. To truly grasp its scale, you have to look at the three pillars of this new industrial base: the silicon that does the thinking, the concrete fortresses that house it, and the raw power that feeds it. This is the new infrastructure of the world, and it's being built at a pace that is straining global supply chains and rewriting energy maps. First, the silicon. At the heart of this revolution is the graphics processing unit, or GPU. Originally designed for video games, their architecture turned out to be perfect for training AI models. And one company, NVIDIA, has achieved staggering dominance in this market. Today, NVIDIA is estimated to control around 3/4 or more of the data center AI GPU market. Their advanced chips have become the new oil, a strategic resource so critical that nations and corporations are scrambling to secure a supply. This dominance is protected by a deep moat of not just hardware, but a mature software ecosystem called CUDA, which has become the industry standard. Switching away isn't just about buying a different chip, it's about abandoning over a decade of tools and expertise. Second, the concrete. These powerful chips need to be housed in massive, hyper-controlled environments called data centers. We are now in the largest data center construction boom in history. In fact, according to the US Census Bureau, private companies are now spending roughly $40 billion a month on data center construction in the United States. A modern AI data center is an industrial marvel. A single facility can cover over 1 million square feet and cost over $1 billion to build. They are the fortresses of the new digital age, and this physical build-out is a permanent change to our landscape. Third, and perhaps most critically, is the power. This is the hidden crisis of the AI revolution. AI is unimaginably energy intensive. The data centers being built are creating a demand for power that is shocking utility companies. The International Energy Agency projects that global electricity consumption from data centers could more than double by 2030. Some estimates suggest that by the early 2030s, the AI sector alone could consume as much electricity as the entire nation of Japan. This is creating a bottleneck. You can have all the chips and data centers in the world, but without power, they're just expensive paperweights. This search for power is leading tech giants to make unprecedented moves. In a move that would have been unthinkable a few years ago, Microsoft signed a 20-year deal with Constellation Energy to restart Unit 1 of the infamous 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant, specifically to provide carbon-free power for its data centers. Google and Amazon are also securing their own deals for nuclear power, often involving next generation small modular reactors. These tech companies are no longer just building digital infrastructure. They are vertically integrating into the energy sector to secure the lifeblood of their AI ambitions. The fight for the future of intelligence is quickly becoming a fight for gigawatts. This tidal wave of capital isn't being spent in a vacuum. It's being driven by a mix of transformative promise and competitive panic, creating a strange economic reality where investment is far outpacing proven returns. This gap between the hype and the on the ground reality reveals the true winners and losers in the early days of this revolution. The current financial returns from AI adoption are, to put it mildly, modest. While many companies using AI are reporting cost savings and revenue gains, the majority of those gains are often in the single digit percentages. Contrast that with the investment. Companies are spending hundreds of billions, but for now, they are mostly getting small improvements in return. So why do it? The answer is a potent cocktail of fear and ambition. Fear of being the next blockbuster, the company that saw the streaming revolution coming but was too slow to adapt, and ambition to capture a piece of what is projected to be an enormous market. Bloomberg Intelligence, for example, expects generative AI to swell into a market generating over $1.3 trillion in revenue by 2032. The current phase of the AI economy is therefore highly speculative. It's a land grab. The real, tangible winners for now are the infrastructure players. The Nvidias of the world are posting record profits. The construction companies building data centers have a backlog of projects. The energy providers signing long-term power purchase agreements are securing guaranteed revenue for decades. On the other side of the divide are the companies and individuals caught in the undertow. Legacy companies in every sector face a classic innovator's dilemma. They have to invest billions in a technology that threatens to cannibalize their existing business with no guarantee of a positive return. Many will hesitate, and that hesitation could be fatal. Then there is the workforce. While some argue AI will create more jobs than it destroys, that papers over a painful transition. The jobs being created, like AI ethicists and prompt engineers, require different skills than the jobs being displaced. An accountant whose expertise can be replicated by an AI can't just become an AI integration specialist overnight. This mismatch will likely lead to a period of structural unemployment and wage pressure for those whose skills are suddenly devalued. This brings us to a crucial point: the long-term productivity promise. Economic models, like those from Goldman Sachs, suggest that AI could boost labor productivity by more than a percentage point a year in the decade after widespread adoption. However, they also note that the initial contribution is small and we are still in the early phase. This means we are in a period of maximum investment for minimum immediate gain. The trillion-dollar catalyst is pouring the concrete foundation, but the skyscraper of productivity hasn't been built yet. This is the most dangerous phase of the revolution, defined by speculative frenzy, the consolidation of power, and the widening of the gap between the architects of the new world and the inhabitants of the old one. This story of a silent revolution can feel overwhelming, but the future isn't something that just happens to you. This transformation is driven by human decisions, and you have decisions of your own to make. The choice is between being a passive object moved by this tide or an active agent who learns to navigate it. This isn't about generic advice like learn to code. This is a practical 4 point guide to positioning yourself for the age of AI. Strategy 1: invest in the infrastructure. The most direct way to benefit from a gold rush is to sell the picks and shovels. The most certain winners in the short to medium term are the companies building the backbone of the AI world. This means thinking in layers. First, the chip layer, the designers like NVIDIA, the foundries that manufacture the chips, and the companies that make the manufacturing equipment. Second, the cloud layer, the hyperscalers, Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, who are renting out AI power to millions of businesses. Third, the physical layer, the real estate companies that own data center land, the construction firms that build them, and critically, the energy sector. Companies leading in power generation, especially nuclear and renewables, are becoming essential partners to the tech giants. Strategy 2: become an AI augmented centaur. In chess, the best player is no longer a human or a computer. It's a centaur, a human working with an AI. The human provides strategy and intuition. The AI provides flawless calculation. This is the model for the future of work. The goal is not to compete against AI, but to fuse with it. You must aggressively master the AI tools that apply to your profession. If you're a marketer, use AI to draft copy and analyze data 10 times faster. If you're a programmer, use AI code assistants to multiply your output. We're moving beyond simple tools toward autonomous agentic AI that you can delegate goals to. Gartner predicts that by 2028, a third of all enterprise software applications will include this kind of agentic AI. The individuals who learn to manage a staff of AI agents to amplify their own skills will become the superstars of the next decade. Strategy 3: master the AI adjacent skills. As AI handles more cognitive tasks, the most valuable human skills will shift. A new class of jobs is emerging at the intersection of humans and machines. One is prompt engineering, the art and science of structuring language to get the best out of an AI. Another is the AI integration specialist, a digital plumber who knows how to connect various AI services into a company's existing software. And a third is the AI trainer and auditor. AI models aren't perfect. They need humans to fine tune them, test them for bias, and provide the feedback that makes them better. These AI adjacent skills are the new high value trades of the 21st century. Strategy 4: build in the gaps for the new economy. For entrepreneurs, the biggest opportunities aren't in trying to build the next ChatGPT. That race is being run by giants. The opportunity is in the long tail. The big models are the new electricity. The profitable businesses will be the ones that build the appliances. This means creating AI powered services for specific niches, an AI tool for architects that optimizes for local zoning laws, an AI assistant for scientists that can read millions of research papers. The more specialized the niche, the harder it is for the big general models to compete. It also means building tools to fix AI's problems. Companies that develop sophisticated tools for fact checking AI content or that specialize in securing AI models from attack will be invaluable. Don't fight the giants, sell them the tools they need to be better. We stand in the midst of a tectonic shift, a silent revolution reordering our world with unparalleled speed and scale. A multi trillion dollar catalyst is rerouting the flow of global capital, concentrating power, and redrawing the lines between economic winners and losers. We've seen how a huge portion of recent US economic growth is being driven by the construction of AI's physical form, the data centers and supercomputers that are the temples of this new age. We've seen how global AI spending is exploding into the trillions, driven by a fear based speculative land grab. This is a story of division, a divide between the handful of companies building the infrastructure and everyone else who will pay to use it. A divide between the nations that control computation and those that don't. And a divide between the individuals who augment their skills with AI and those who are left behind. But the final chapter isn't written. This is not a force of nature. It is a technology, a tool, and the trillions of dollars flowing into this sector are creating opportunities just as surely as they are creating disruption. The choice now is yours. You can stand on the sidelines and watch, or you can take action. You can invest in the infrastructure. You can become an AI augmented professional. You can develop the critical skills that bridge the gap between human and machine. You can build the solutions that this new world will desperately need. The silent revolution will not wait for you to be ready. It is happening now. The question is, what will you do about it? If you want to continue to get ahead of these trends and learn how to navigate the new economy being built around us, make sure you subscribe. The insights we share here could be the most valuable investment you make. Thank you for watching.